A potted history of PG Tips, Britain's favourite tea. Our story begins in 1869. A mad Mancunian called Arthur Brooke opened up a fancy tea emporium in Manchester's Market Street. The people of Manchester were mad for it, as they would say, and it became a raving success. Tea, coffee and sugar flew out the door, and Arthur Brooke's posh tea shop was a hit. Arthur then spent the next few years doing all the usual things business types did in the 19th century, opening more shops, making babies and wearing fancy hats until the 1930s. In 1930, Arthur launched PG Tips, although it wasn't called PG Tips at the time. Arthur had sold many kinds of tea for different uses and occasions, and his new tea was meant to be drunk before eating. It launched called digestive tea, then that name was later changed to pre-gest-tea to emphasise the idea that it was a type of tea to be consumed before eating. This then became shortened to PG tea, which in turn became PG Tips. The tips was added because it was made from the tips of tea plants. A tremendous tea titan was born. Fast forward 20 years to 1950 and the infamous monkeys arrived. Monkeys? What's all this about monkeys? TV in the 50s was grim, airing sober black and white shows such as What the Papers Say, Women's Viewpoint and Around the World with Orson Welles. Into this monochromatic world stepped the PG Tips monkeys, Lewis and Ada. In some of the first adverts ever seen on British television, our chimp heroes would act out scenes clothed in suits and dresses. Voiceovers were provided by such folks as Russ Abbott and Bob Monkhouse. The adverts were extremely successful. With the tea flying off the shelves, the chimps keepers were able to found a zoo in Twycross, which to this day is still going strong. The adverts ran from 1956 through to 2002 when the chimps themselves retired to Twycross. The ads are recognised in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest running TV adverts in the UK. Along rolled the 60s, and in a move that shocked the civilised world, PG Tips started coming in tea bags. Oh mercy! There is nothing worse than getting to the bottom of a lovely cup of tea only to get a mouthful of tea leaves. Ugh. Bags obviously prevent this by containing the leaves, but in an unfortunate turn of events they decimated the tea leaf reading industry and a whole generation of fortune tellers was ruined. Oh dear. In 1980 it was discovered that 50% of people, being troglodytes, made their tea in mugs instead of using a teapot. This shameful behaviour was actually encouraged by PG Tips introducing tea with strings attached, so they could be easily removed once the tea had brewed. This, even though there were many small teapots available on the market. Disgraceful. 1990 and PG Tips started selling pyramid tea bags. Pyramid tea bags were supposed to act like mini teapots, allowing the tea leaves to move around inside. Allegedly. Today, PG Tips comes in many forms, be it bagged, loose leaf, decaf or dairy free, whatever that is. PG Tips is still made in Manchester at the Brook Bond plant in Trafford Park. Of the 150 million cups of tea consumers drink each day, 35 million are PG Tips. It is one of the most popular tea brands in the UK and it is enjoyed around the globe. I hope you enjoyed my quick potted history of PG Tips. Now I'm off to put the kettle on because I'm gasping. Ta-ta!